Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special edition of Africa Today. We're covering the inaugurations taking place in Upper Egypt by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. President Sisi on Monday said we are witnessing a new leap into the future as he was briefed on electricity and power ministry achievements in Upper Egypt during a visit to Aswan. The president said celebrating these achievements is meant to assert our keenness on preserving the nation's construction drive and not just for showing off, adding that a citizen has a right to know the huge amount of spending made in the electricity sector. President Sisi, meanwhile, inspected the Benban complex for solar energy, the largest clean power generation complex in the Middle East. Established in partnership with the private sector and in collaboration with specialized international expertise, Benban is leading infrastructure facility in Egypt. During the visit, Aswan, the president also inaugurated several national and strategic projects in Upper Egypt in the field of electricity. Via video conference, the inauguration ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Electricity Mohammad Shakir, and several other ministers and senior officials. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and on this topic we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. Good afternoon, Mr. Ambassador.
How are you?
Ambassador Bayoumi, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is inaugurating a number of development projects in Upper Egypt. How do you see the significance of these projects?
As a citizen, I am very glad really about these developments. This means that we are taking care of the marginalized areas of our country. We go to Upper Egypt now. We went already to Sinai, to the western part of Egypt, because we want also to distribute our inhabitants all over the country, because without these projects, the people who are living in Upper Egypt or elsewhere, they feel that they are not well received, and they come in a sort of internal migration to the big cities like Cairo. Cairo is suffering from such practice. So if we make the quality of life in Upper Egypt better than what's going on, then we shall be sure that our citizens in Upper Egypt, in Sinai, will stay in their places and develop it and feel the benefit of the new projects, new ways of employment, new production. Then if we are talking to Africa also, then we are nearer to Africa. We want to develop Aswan and our border with Sudan in order to go furthermore to the south for more and more cooperation with Africa.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Ambassador Bayoumi, President Sisi inspected today the Benban Solar Power Park in Aswan Governorate. How do you see the significance of this project in specific?
This is also matches our efforts concerning better life and environment. And Egypt has a long history concerning this, and we are doing our best. The problem with the environment problem on the international level, that it's not enough that one country like Egypt do its duty. We need the whole world to follow the idea of having a better and better environment.
Yes.
And that's why we invited the whole world to come to us next year that Egypt will host the International Forum for Environment. And I see around us many organizations are preparing for this very special meeting. So Egypt in its place, of course, it is a very effective country around the regional, bilateral, and the international level, that many countries will follow us in our efforts in order to make our life much more beneficial and healthy And now we are using the solar energy, which is very good. And some people in Europe, for instance, invading Egypt, that we have all this sun and we can benefit from it. Also, this also will be a step that Egypt will be having a surplus in energy. We are on the point to export part of our energy to Europe, especially when we connect our electric net with Sudan, with Congo, with Tanzania, and hopefully with Ethiopia also. Mm-hmm. Also, we have the electric net connected along with Baghdad in the east up till Casablanca in the west. Mm-hmm. So these all are continuous efforts, one complementary to the other in many fields, whether it is industry, it is agriculture, it is also in energy field. And thank God that we are in a very good situation concerning energy.
Mm-hmm. Sir, the national project for developing Upper Egypt is built on 4 main axes, including launching integrated industrial ones in South Egypt to boost private sector-led job creation. Would you please tell us more about this?
Here we are facing a big challenge in everywhere, and we well know, all of us, that government by itself cannot make the whole effort by itself. That's why successfully our president is calling on the private sector in order to give a hand to whatever we are doing in the process of development in Egypt. Why? Because we need to invest more than 30% of our income on new projects in order to keep our standards of living much better. And in order to do that, we cannot depend on our savings only. Our savings are half of what we are aiming at. So we are inviting foreign direct investment, whether it is coming from Egyptians living abroad, from the Arab world, or from Europe, America, or Japan and China. Everywhere we are calling for direct investment here in our country, but the effort is to make the investor quite sure that we shall keep him in a good position, we shall serve him, we shall make him make benefit, of course, because we want the investor to make profits, of course. Some people are envying the investors that he is making good profit. Don't envy the investor. We want him to come and to make more benefits, and this will help us for producing what we need, for exporting what we're aiming at, to create jobs for our young generation also.
Yes, Ambassador Bayoumi, development in Egypt's south has expanded to include almost every aspect of life, including transportation, sanitation, healthcare, housing, and industry. Would you please elaborate on which are the most important developmental projects taking place in Upper Egypt now?
Very important question, because really I realize whenever you read on the Facebook, whenever the president is opening a new road, you will find somebody commenting on this. Do we need more roads? We need agriculture. We need industry. Then now he's in Aswan also will visit Tushka. This is the future for agriculture. He's opening energy. He's opening yesterday around Luxor some industrial projects. So I asked our audience to have a look on the page of the Ministry of Planning. Mm-hmm. There you will find our coming planning 2030. You will find that the details of what we are aiming for every single city and village in Egypt. So, of course, it's not one dimension of development. We are working on all dimensions, whether it is industry, agriculture, services, name it. The quality of life also is very important, and we are doing our effort to make our education much better, our health care much better, the services and the roads much better. So it is a sort of very wide range and of planning, which have a courageous goals, we are going to implement it.
Yes, Ambassador Bayoumi, President Sisi on Monday said we are witnessing a new leap into the future as he was briefed on Electricity and Power Ministry achievements. How do you assess President Sisi's words and statement?
This is very good news for us. The President himself today was mentioning what we were suffering in 2013 and 14, where we were out of energy from day to another in our houses even. Now, thank God, we have a surplus of energy. We have a surplus of electricity, of gas. We are exporting gas now to Lebanon, for instance. We shall be exporting gas to Europe, importing gas to liquidate it, because this is another very important industry in the Meta and Rashid. So, the sky is the limit there, and we are doing our efforts in all these fields. This is one sector we are making a good story of success concerning energy also.
Mm-hmm. Sir, over the last 2 days, President Sisi has been inaugurating several new projects and complexes in the fields of road infrastructure, industry, irrigation, and agriculture in Upper Egypt. How do you assess the importance of course, in addition to electricity, inaugurating projects in the fields of infrastructure, industry, and irrigation, and also agriculture?
I must confess that I love it because I am fond of driving. I am a good driver. I drive my car all over the country, and I am enjoying the quality of roads now. Why? Because we benefit from the experience of other countries, such like Germany. Germany helped us in order to raise the quality of our roads. I go frequently to Alexandria, and if I use the desert road, my goodness, this is a completely different quality of road. Now we are doing this to Upper Egypt, and we hope that this will continue deeper in the African countries up till Johannesburg. We want to connect Alexandria to Johannesburg by a huge road, autostrad. This will make the trade much easier. We want to continue the services such like roads, like whatever we are doing, because it gives us new services, it gives us plenty of new jobs for our young generation. It gives us also what we need from all these sorts of productions.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador Bayoumi, President Sisi said celebrating these achievements is meant to assert our keenness on preserving the nation's construction drive and not just for showing off, adding that a citizen has a right to know the huge amount of spending made in the electricity sector in specific. President Sisi also inspected the Benban complex for solar energy. Sir, how do you assess the President's speech?
I must really agree with you that we need a sort of much more information about this project. And whenever the President is in some place, I see immediately that the reflection of our newspapers is specifically on what the President is doing. We need the mass media to show the layman that we are going here and there in electricity, in gas, in oil, in all the services, education, health, and in the production field we are up to what we need in agriculture, what we need in industry. I feel as a citizen that we are not covering all the information together, and we don't have a sort of a wide scope of information. We have to do this, and I encourage our mass media, our TV, yourself and myself, to give this information to our citizens in order to feel that we are on the right track, that we are doing a good job.
Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former assistant to the foreign minister, many thanks for your insight, sir. And dear viewers, now we go to a report and we'll be right back. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Monday said we're witnessing a new leap into the future as he was briefed on electricity and power ministry achievements in Upper Egypt during a visit to Aswan. President Sisi hailed the Ministry of Electricity efforts exerted over the recent years, asserting that Egypt aspires to rank among developed countries in the fields of electrical link, power generation and power distribution. The head of the state said celebrating these achievements is meant to assert our keenness on preserving the nation's construction drive and not just for showing off, adding that a citizen has a right to know the huge amount of spending made in the electricity sector. President Sisi's remarks came as he inspected the Benban complex for solar energy, the largest clean power generation complex in the Middle East. Established in partnership with the private sector and in collaboration with the specialized international expertise, Benban is a leading infrastructure facility in Egypt. During his visit to Aswan, the president also inaugurated several national and strategic projects in Upper Egypt in the field of electricity via video conference. The inauguration ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Electricity Mohammed Sheker, and several other ministers and senior officials. Addressing the inauguration ceremony, Minister Sheker said the Benban Clean Power Generation Complex is one of the largest such generators on both regional and international levels. He pointed out that production capacity of Benban Complex is 1,465 megawatts. The electricity minister also reviewed his ministry's overall efforts to boost electrical power capacity and overcome shortage across Upper Egypt. Dr. Sheker explained that 12,000 megawatts have been added to the area's grid in a cost of £55 billion within the recent 7 years. The minister said an urgent plan that was adopted for increasing power capacity by accelerating the construction of 3 power stations succeeded in generating 3,636 megawatts in just 8 months and a half in a cost of £47 billion. He described this achievement as unprecedented. Dr. Sheker also added that the Daba nuclear power station will be inaugurated in 2028.